Hey everybody, welcome to another Timer Tip Tuesday. I'm Matt Avery. If you don't know me, I'm the Event Day product manager. So I work on all of the different applications that RunSignup provides that are in use on Event Day. So everything from what we're talking about today, RaceDay scoring, all the way through the Tickets app and the check-in app. So today we're going to be discussing RunScore to RaceDay scoring and how you go about making that transition. So today's session is going to be a bit of a high-level discussion about coming from RunScore, why you might want to be looking into RaceDay scoring, what we have to offer that you might find familiar in RaceDay scoring, as well as what things would make your life a whole lot easier that RunScore does not have to offer. So we're going to get started in just a minute here. We're still waiting on a few folks to show up. In the meantime, if you have used GoToWebinar before, it's just like any of our other webinars. So there's a chat box where you can put your questions in. I do have James Harris on the back end, who is our CTO of our RaceDay products. So if you have any questions about using RaceDay scoring that we could answer pretty quickly, go ahead and put them in. And if James feels like those are important to bring up to the whole group, he'll do that, and I'll answer the question live. So we always record these sessions, and they will be available along with the slide deck on our YouTube channel a day or two after the recording is complete. So don't feel like you can't keep up if we're going too fast or anything like that. We'll have all this information available to you at any time. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first off, what we're going to be going through today, like I said, going to be a fairly high-level discussion. Going to give you a basic introduction and background of RaceDay scoring, why we built the product, what were the influences behind it, and what we wanted to achieve with it. We're going to go over some of the key benefits that we have to offer with RaceDay scoring. Then we're going to go into a couple of features that I find are really nice for those who have used RunScore in the past and are interested in RaceDay scoring. Then we're going to go through a couple of customer quotes that I felt like I needed to share because they're really nice, and especially coming from some RunScore users. And then just next steps, what you as a timer would want to do if you're looking to start trying out RaceDay scoring or moving over your business. So let's go ahead and get started. So we built RaceDay scoring, started it around 2017, I think. Yeah, I think it was January 2017. We saw a market need. Specifically, we saw the market currently had the Race Director, which was a product that we acquired in 2015, and RunScore. Those were the two main products that were out there, both extremely respectable products, but they are getting a little bit old. Race Director is famously about as old as I am, so I'm not going to give away that, but you can do the math if you'd like. And so we decided that we needed a next generation software out there. The reason behind that was that the system that Race Director was built on would be going away eventually due to Windows not supporting the underlying architecture that Roger Bradshaw used. So we knew we had to build a new product because of that need. And also we wanted to see if we could make a product that would entice RunScore users to use our products as well. One thing that we thought was really important was that if we built new scoring software, it had to be similar to existing software that was out there in terms of how costly it was. Famously, Race Director and RunScore are passion projects. They were built by people who were not trying to make a ton of money off of this business, and the prices that they were set at speak to that. So we decided to keep RaceDay scoring a very low cost and essentially making it a loss leader for us. We aren't making any money off of the licenses, essentially, or nowhere near enough money to cover our development costs. So as most of you know, RunSignup, our entire profit model is based on how many registrations come through, and we distribute that across our development team to provide the resources that we need to make all the products that we need in order to make our customers happy. So All of the registrations that come in from all of our customers are funding us building scoring software for you. And it's not necessarily all about the license fees for us. So just keep that in mind. We're keeping these costs low to you because we didn't want to make a product that was too expensive, because we knew that you were accustomed to using products that were not altogether that expensive, like RaceDirector and RunScore. Another critical point was that we needed to make this open to all major chip systems. We did not want to make a decision that we were going to go with one particular chip system. It's something that we could have done. We could have had a partnership with a specific chip system provider out there that didn't want to make scoring software, and we came in and made it essentially the scoring product if you're using this particular chip system. We decided we wanted to mimic what RaceDirector and RunScore did and make it open to all major chip systems. And in addition to this, we one-upped RaceDirector at least and made it available, customizable enough so that you can use it with all sorts of chip systems. We have a very flexible stream system where you can customize your data so that it will pull in reads from almost any kind of chip system out there, as long as they have a flexible chip output file. And finally, the Goldilocks approach. This is our way of balancing what we saw in RaceDirector as a really easy point-and-click interface. It was very simple and straightforward if you're used to using Windows programs, and RunScore, which was more complicated in the sense that you had to know a little bit of programming in order to figure out how to build listing files, how to operate the software. We wanted to find something that was somewhere in the middle. Simple when it needed to be, but flexible enough for advanced use. And that was the inspiration behind RaceDay scoring. We wanted to build a product that at first glance seems pretty simple and straightforward when you're using it on the weekend. But if you're setting it up on the back end in preparation for some races, it's very deep. You can do a lot of customization, and so it suits most needs for those advanced users as well. And what were the goals of the product? We wanted to make sure that it was faster, it was more simple, it's extensible, you could change it, and it was open. We wanted to make it the best-in-class integration for participant and results syncing, and we heavily utilize RunSignup's cloud platform in order to do so. And the number one priority for us was we wanted to make it pretty straightforward and easy for timers to train new employees on. One of our primary focuses in terms of getting new customers is not necessarily transitioning a RunScore user who's been using it for 30 years to change all of the races that they time, but to take that timer who used to try and educate their new timers on an old system like RunScore or RaceDirector, and instead have them train on RaceDay scoring, because we find that it's a lot easier for people who are brand new to timing to use. Now, coming from RaceDirector or coming from RunScore may be a different story. I'm an old RaceDirector user, and I know it very well. Your brain gets in a certain mode, and you're used to pointing and clicking certain areas. So transferring that knowledge to a different platform is not super easy all the time. But I will say, people who are brand new to timing, they get the hang of RaceDay scoring very easily. So again, let's talk about some of these key benefits. Number one, it's open. It's not tied down to that chip hardware provider. There's other systems out there that are, and as a timer business, you have to remain flexible with this, because as you know, market conditions change. At some point in the future, you may want to offload some older equipment and buy into some new platform. You may want to have a mixture of different hardwares. You might want race results for your triathlons, but MyLaps for your road races. You can use all those chip systems, the RaceDay scoring, and you don't have to retrain yourself altogether that much to change over which chip systems you use. Number two, it is a local application. This is critical. A lot of people, when they heard us talking about, we're building a new piece of software, it's scoring, it works with syncing in the cloud. It's not in the cloud, it doesn't run in the cloud, so you don't have to have internet connection to connect to your readers and produce results. So this is critical. You do not need to have internet in order to score a race with RaceDay scoring. Works completely offline. It just happens to work really well if you do have an internet connection, and we'll go through some of those syncing benefits later. Next, it's super flexible. In terms of reporting, scoring, and data management, there's a lot of options here. So you can take a report, we build some reports for you by default, but you can take that report and customize it. Trim down the columns, customize the way that each individual columns look and are displayed. You can filter reports to say, only show me results in this report if they are male and over this age, within the zip code, or whatever you want. A lot of different scoring things that you can do. You can change how reads should be selected. You can change all sorts of things around team scoring and relay races. There's a lot of different options that'll cover almost every single situation that you need. And data management, we do a lot of things which I'll talk about later that are related to data updates. So things like automatically changing participant information when we sense certain read data at a different location. We have all sorts of things that you can do with management on the fly. Next, live. So provided an internet connection, live results and data updates have never been more simple. And this is the #1 takeaway for me when people understand how different RaceDay scoring is from like the race director or RunScore. With RaceDay scoring, you don't even have to think about importing a spreadsheet. If you're using RunSignup, the participants just automatically show up. You don't have to worry about hitting a button to publish results. They just will automatically go up if you set up an autosave. So everything kind of works just in the background, makes for a really nice and easy race day. As long as everything is connected and running, you kind of sit back and just watch it all come in. Again, it's modern. It's a lot easier to train new employees compared to RunScore, in my opinion. And the next two are really important. So customer support. So we pride ourselves at RunSignup on our level of customer service. We always have support and at least one developer available for escalation each weekend. This means that you can trust that we'll be there on the back end. So we always have our inbox monitored on the weekends and during the week. And if something does happen that's a critical issue, we can deploy an update within an hour to all of our customers and get that bug fixed if it is impacting you. And I'll say our customer support team is excellent. We got Dave and David who work on the back end of our support inbox, and both of them are actually ex-RunScore users. So they have some good knowledge on that end as well. But they're really amazing, and it's there on the weekend. It's all they care about is making sure that you get the results that you need in whatever way possible. And finally, development investment. So about 30% of the entire development resources at RunSignup are dedicated to our event day team. So what this means is that we're going to be ensuring consistent, responsive updates with no end in sight for future updates. This is something that you don't see from other people who are building scoring software out there. It is an expensive thing to do. We have decided to make a significant investment in development resources here. So just know that we are going to be shipping updates weekly, if not every other week, adding new features, correcting issues, and making the software better and better week in, week out. That's our goal. So like I said, it is easy to use. It's a modern interface. This is a picture of the dashboard here. It shows you quick information about the top finishers in each of your event as they are happening in real time. Shows you at each location, recent reads, the 5 people that have recently crossed each location. Some things you can do on this dashboard that are really nice. You can automatically back up this scoring file. If you're on site, you might want to create a version, once the first finisher came in, once you're halfway through, and then the final version, just in case you ever needed to restore back to one of those points for whatever reason, we have that available to you. In addition, all of this information is updating and syncing in real time. So as you see, all of the names here are hyperlinked, so you can click into them, and let's say you needed to change something about Killian. First place finisher, his name was spelled wrong. You just click in there, update the registration information, and everything is good. You don't have to worry about pushing the update to RunSignup. It just happens right in the back end. But flexible enough. So what you'll need to know about RaceDay scoring is that it actually was built up. It was built from the ground up, inspired by RunScore. You'll see a few places in the application referencing listings. Listings are actually the first thing that we created in RaceDay scoring, and it was inspired by the language used in RunScore, actually. So all of our reports are generated off of what we call base listings. And you can do all sorts of things to build out custom computed fields using programmable math and logic. Reports can be sorted and filtered by these fields and any other, giving you ultimate flexibility and customization. And then data checks and actions are functions that allow you to update data under certain conditions, manually or automatically. And on the right here, it just shows, we basically show to the user, if they wanted to dig into it, exactly how all of the times that are created in the software are being calculated. And we give you the ability to build your own if you wanted to. So this custom computed field builder may be interesting to those users coming from RunScore who are accustomed to building out custom computed fields in that software. Most users, the average weekend warrior who comes out to just time a race for your business on a weekend basis, wouldn't even see this or care about it, but it is in the back end there if you want to mess around with it. Again, one of the greatest parts is our real-time data and results updates. We have best-in-class participant result syncing with RunSignup's cloud platform. So we have focused entirely on building an amazing, incredible integration with RunSignup's cloud. So if you're using RunSignup for registration, that's great. And all of the participants will come down into RaceDay scoring automatically. Even if you set up the race a week beforehand and then you load it up again later, the new entries just show up in there right away. No need to import updated spreadsheets or anything like that any longer. In addition, day of entries and spreadsheet imports to RaceDay scoring, those registrations go up to RunSignup automatically as well. You don't have to worry about giving your race directors updated registration sheets with everyone that you entered on site. All of that data gets pushed to RunSignup automatically. Reports can be auto-saved to RunSignup, so those results are being pushed throughout the day automatically. So every 30 seconds, we update all of the results, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to click a button to push those results. Entire scoring files can be backed up to the cloud. So this is what I was talking about before, the cloud backup system that we have. It allows you as the head honchos, we call this user. They're on the weekdays, they're in the office building out scoring files. And what they want to do is build them all out on a desktop, let's say, or a laptop in their office, and then deploy them to different laptops. So we built a system of cloud backups where they can build out these scoring files, upload them to the cloud, and you can put versions on them. So I could say, Matt Avery V1, so that I know this is the first version, and it'll tell me when it was created, and I could call it final when it's ready to go. And then on the actual laptops, the weekend warrior can pull in that race and see, okay, I'm going to get the final scoring version, pull that in, and all of the setup that you did on the main computer, your laptop back in the office, will show up on that target laptop. So it's a really nice way of automating that old process of needing to set everything up on each individual laptop, or exporting a race, putting it on a flash drive, or emailing it to yourself, or whatever. It all is just syncing and will be available to any computers that are logged into an account that's associated with your business. So in addition to all of that, when a timer who is in the field is done with a race, when they close out RaceDay scoring, it will ask them, hey, would you like to back up this file to the cloud? And they can go ahead and one click, just push up their final version of the race with all the reads and all of the reports, so that after the race is over, you're back in the office on Monday, you can restore that final completed version of the race file for your archival reasons. So this is really nice, has been a huge benefit to those people moving from other platforms. The big thing about RaceDay scoring, as I'm talking about all of these cool cloud features that RaceDay scoring has to offer, it's important to recognize that we don't require registration. So we do require for all of these things that I show down here that you have a RunSignup race set up, but it's only used as a database essentially. You don't have to collect registrations, and we don't really force you to do that. You can create a race on in RaceDay scoring on RunSignup very easily. You can just build it out like any other race, and there's a little checkbox that says publish to RunSignup. And now you have a hosted RunSignup race that unlocks all of RunSignup's RaceDay cloud features. So this includes all that real-time participant syncing between computers. It unlocks the ability to sync check-in apps so that you can do bib assignments via the check-in app, and data management. So you can do all sorts of things with a check-in app. If you're not familiar with that, we got 100 webinars on it. You can do data changes for custom questions and all sorts of other things. And all of that data is syncing to our cloud platform, which then comes back down to RaceDay scoring. Backing up, restoring scoring setups from the cloud, result publishing, online result kiosk links. If you wanted to set up a tablet with a URL that's automatically being updated as results get posted to RunSignup, it's super straightforward. In addition, result notifications. All of these things we rely on RunSignup's cloud platform to do. So this is why we have decided to kind of stick with using RunSignup as our central cloud platform. And if you do bring in a spreadsheet from some other registration provider, it's super easy to just come in, upload it to RaceDay scoring, and all of the registrations go to RunSignup automatically. So that's that. Next, I'm going to go through some feature highlights. So we're going to go through a couple of ones that I think are really nice for users coming from RunScore. Some of the advanced features that I find a lot of RunScore users ask me about. We're going to talk about data checks and actions and custom computed fields. So data checks are our way of updating information about a participant or team given some other information. This can be done manually via a review process, which we call a data check, or automatically, which we call a data action. Data actions are typically used for situations where you want to automatically change some participant information based on some read data. So for example, let's say if someone is registered for a 5K, that's some participant information, but we get a read for them at a 10K location. The system can detect that state and automatically change their event. And that gets published to RunSignup, and the results automatically go up, and everything is nice and easy. So this is really cool. It's a little dangerous because sometimes people don't set up their data actions tightly enough, so they end up switching things around they didn't mean to, which can cause problems. So that's why we also have data checks. But if you do want to learn more about data actions, I have a couple of guides here about how to set them up on our help desk, and a video that we recorded that Chris McDonald did about how data actions work, digging into it a little bit further. So data checks are something that's typically used for participants where they meet some conditions like the one above, but what it does is it gives you a list of all of the people that meet those conditions, and then a series of checkboxes, and you can say, okay, this one I want to switch to the 10K, this one I'm going to leave alone, and these other three I'm going to check their boxes, switch them to the 10K. It's more of a manual process, but for those situations where you want to be careful or you don't want to necessarily always do it, it's critical. This is really nice if you're doing, let's say, a marathon and you have some people who dropped out and you want to see if you want to disqualify them or not. You could set up some data filtering to check out and see, oh, anybody who's in the marathon but got a finish but didn't get a read at like the let's say the 20-mile mark or something like that, you could run a report and see that and maybe make a decision to disqualify them right there. Instead of automatically doing it, you can just do it manually. So these are really cool, a lot of good opportunities to do interesting things with these two features. Next, we're going to talk about custom computed fields. So RaceDay scoring all of the fields are computed fields, essentially, all the times. They're basically saying, okay, I have a time, and that time equals the difference between this time and that time. And that's what I call my 5K finish. So what you can do if you wanted to is create and populate a field that's based on existing data that's completely custom. It can be used in a lot of different ways. So for example, you could use calculations on times that will be populated when reads come in. So I could say here on the right, I've got a custom field set up that is doing basically when they get a read, or the lap chip time basically is getting multiplied by 5. So for whatever reason, I needed to say add a new time field that's this certain time times 5. You could do that. You can base these fields on other calculated fields if you needed to. So using this functionality, you could build out a lot of really interesting things based on existing participant data. In addition, you could set flags based on participant data fields. So let's say you wanted to set up a field that says if a person has a zip code that is either this or that or that or that, they're going to be local. So you create a field called local. It's a yes or no field, and it's yes if it meets these zip codes, and it's no if it does not. And then you could create a report that says only show me locals, or add a column to the report that just says local, yes, yes, no, no, whatever you want. So you could build out some really interesting stuff here. Another one you can do is have a computed field for a report that you build that is just showing you if you think that this person's pace is too fast for a specified split. So let's say you've got a split out on a marathon course that's a half, and you know that no one's going to do a pace faster than 4-minute miles or something like that. You could have a field that shows yes or check this person or something, whatever you want it to say, if they had a pace that is faster than some value that you determine. So very, very flexible. You can come up with a lot of creative, interesting things. We have this Introduction to Computed Fields guide on our help desk that goes over a few different examples and also tells you all about how this works, how to set it up, what you can do with them. This is one that just shows me how I could build out a fastest transition, which basically gives me out of a certain number of splits, only show the fastest one. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about where if I wanted to show a local yes or no question, all sorts of different interesting things you can do here. So just know there's resources out there for you if you're looking for those kind of features. So kind of wanted to close out on some nice customer quotes from our recent customers here. So life has never been so easy. For real, I keep getting surprised in what the software can do. Yes, once you get comfortable with RaceDay scoring, there's almost a scary level of nothing to do. Also loving some of the updates with 4.0. And finally, this was a really nice one, came in the other day from our friend Brad Hammond. I'm in IT for my day job, so having fun and automating as much as possible. Coming from RunScore, I'm starting to see some of the flexibility that I enjoyed there with a superior interface RaceDay has. So if you're interested in getting started, we definitely recommend reaching out. We've got a whole lot of resources, starting with our RaceDay scoring certification program. We have been doing this for a number of years now. It's a basic introduction to RaceDay scoring, covers the bases of a simple 5K in depth. It's a pretty long course, but basically once you get through it, you'll be able to understand RaceDay scoring at a high level and complete an actual 5K test race that we provide to you. And you fill out a little quiz at the end, just so that we know that you stayed on and watched the whole thing. But it'll give you or any new timers a really good broad introduction to the product. As you get beyond that, as you start working on setting up other races, we definitely recommend at any point submitting a help ticket request in the actual application itself. There's a little Get Help button in the top right, and it will allow you to send us a copy of the race scoring file you're working on so that our support team can guide you in the right direction if you have questions on how to best set up some kind of situation or scoring setup in mind. Next, Chris McDonald is our RaceDay expert. So he does all of our one-on-one training. So basically, if you have questions on how you would go about scoring or rescoring an older race, if you're coming from RunScore, or if you have questions about a specific race setup that you have coming up that you'd like to figure out how to set up in advance, he's going to be the one to talk to and set up a time to do so with. We also, if you just have general questions, reach out to RaceDay@RunSignup.com and we get back to you really quick. But if you wanted to do a one-on-one, go ahead and use this link here, calendly.com/RSU RaceDay tools, and set up a time to talk with Chris. He's great. He's been using this product for a number of years. He's a timer himself. So if you want to bounce ideas off someone, he's your go-to. And finally, check out our RaceDay webinar series. We have a whole bunch of these webinars that we do on our RunSignup YouTube channel with a lot of great information. And if you haven't already done so, definitely recommend pinning that playlist and watching anyone that looks interesting to you or is relevant to what you're working on in your business. So just want to thank you everyone for joining us today. And again, let us know if you have any questions about using RaceDay scoring, if you're interested, or if you just want to chat, we're always happy to do so. So before we sign off, James, is there any questions that you want me to bring up to the group? Or if anyone doesn't have any questions, feel free to put them in now.
Yeah, definitely put them in now. No, nothing came in that was not covered by what you were covering, so really good job there. The only thing I just want to underscore, again, what Avery's really talking about, these computed fields. Again, as someone that's also played around in RunScore a little bit in my early days, definitely understand how you guys were using everything in your scripts to compute your different values. So the UI that he's showing is definitely a little bit taking a moment to get used to if you're really trying to build those. So definitely check out those support articles. One thing we do want to mention here is that we're actually in the middle of a big development effort right now to make that editor easier while you're actually building a report. So you're in the middle of building a report and you just want to build a special field and being able to add a computed field right at that moment. We're going to be using this as part of our series scoring. So we're involved in trying to continue to build that element out for those advanced timers that really need to do something special there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, someone just came in. Yeah, Michael is asking about integrations with other result platforms. We don't really have any plans this time to integrate with other result platforms directly. So what we do with sometimes people or other businesses reach out to us, and what we recommend to them is that they integrate with RunSignup Cloud Platform so they can get the results from RunSignup and host them elsewhere. Because we have so many features that we want to do, we've got like 1,000 requests out there right now that we want to eventually get to. We want to make sure that our integration that we have with RunSignup results is as good as possible and go from there. So no plans right now to do like FTP results to measure other major providers. Someone also asking about import replace. I'm not familiar, James. Do you know what import replace is referring to?
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm not sure if this is what you're talking about, Bill, but it sounds like it could be updating records using an external identifier where it's updating existing participant data from a spreadsheet instead of adding all new ones. I'm not sure if that's what you mean here, but we do provide that.
Yeah, definitely check out on our import utility in the CSV how you can match to different fields. And as Avery's saying, you don't have to just match to a RunSignup participant ID or registration ID. You can actually match to an external reference that could be coming from another system. And so that is definitely going to be an add or update. So if we match, we update. If we don't match, we add. Exactly.
Yeah. So they're saying that it is a common identifier to update existing entries with supplemented or replacement data. Yeah. So we just added a way to do this. It's called an external reference ID. So you can import like some other registration provider ID in there, and then you can upkeep that spreadsheet, keeping the identifiers the same. But if their shirt size changed or if their name updated or something, you could use that same spreadsheet. And when you map that column, the system will know, oh, this one already exists, so I'll update that record. And if that record doesn't exist, it adds it. All right, well, I think that's everything. So again, I wanted to thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you again on the next Timer Tip Tuesday. And until then, we'll catch y'all later. Bye.
Oh, when did you get so strong? Oh, hey everyone. Thank you for watching the video. You're at the end of it now. If you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell and all. That'll get you alerts when we post new ones. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this content, and we'll catch you next time. I am so weak.